The Sony 18-105 has been my go-to lens when it comes to shooting both videos and photos. But the time has come for it to find a new home, so I have decided to sell it. The reason why I'm selling my 18-105 is because I have found a replacement that is probably one of the most underrated zoom lenses for Aps-C cameras. And it's not getting mentioned nearly as often as other comparable lenses. It's the Tamron 17-70 F2.8. And I have used it for about 2 years now. Most recently during my trip to Japan. And it's by far the best lens that I've used for my Sony a6400. It's a pretty hefty lens that feels really high quality, and it's weather sealed, which is always nice. It doesn't have a focus switch or an electronic zoom function like Sony's power zoom. But for me personally, I never use those functions anyway, so I don't feel like I'm missing out. The only two things that you can adjust is the focus and the zoom, which makes it a really nice and clean design that I personally really love. It weighs in at 525 grams, which is definitely on the heavier side, and it's also a pretty big lens, especially considering that it's for the smaller Aps-C cameras. But it's a really versatile lens, so for me, I don't mind it, and normally it's the only lens that I bring with me when I go out to take photos. One of the big reasons why I bought this lens is the big aperture of f2.8. This means that it has the ability to give you a really nice bokeh in your photos if you're into that. For me who likes to do night photography, this gives me that little extra light that is really valuable when you're shooting in the dark. In fact, since it's at f2.8, it lets in twice as much light compared to the Sony lens that I used to have, which had an aperture size of f4. The focal length of 17 to 70 millimeters isn't exactly the widest focal length span in the market. And there are situations where I feel like I'm missing that extra reach to zoom into subjects that are further away. This could be something for you to consider depending on your use case. With that said, it's a really versatile lens and I have used it for taking many different types of photos. Now, a really cool thing about this lens is that it's able to focus on subjects that are really close to the lens. It's by no means a macro lens, but it has a minimum focus distance of 19 centimeters and a magnification of 0.21. So I've mentioned all the nice things and the nice specs about this lens, but what actually makes it better than the competition? If you look at the competition, it consists of either higher quality lenses with better specs but that cost at least $1,000 or you have cheaper and more affordable lenses but the quality is significantly worse. The Tamron is placed right in the sweet spot between high quality and affordability. From my personal experience, I used the 18-105, which is a cheaper option, but what bothered me was that the quality of the photos were really bad, and the Tamron really delivers on that. If you're interested, I can do a detailed comparison between these two. So what do you think? Do you disagree with me? If so, let me know which lens you think is underrated. I hope you liked this video. Please leave a like if you found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.